Hi, this is Johnny Bergen with another Chicago Blues guitar lesson. This time we're taking a digression from Chicago, but we're going back to some real fundamentals. This song is by request. The Hustle Is On by T-Bone Walker, and then I'm going to talk about one of my favorite T-Bone Walker songs called Flower Blues, because I really like all his later stuff. In fact, I even did some songs from his later stuff like Build Me a Playhouse, and I did another one called She's a Hit. I love that era of T-Bone as well, but everything T-Bone Walker did is really awesome and well worth listening to. And I want to just, I think learning like a bass line that you could practice to with this song is really going to help you. And if you don't know this, you need to know it. It's not really in the song as a guitar part, but this will help you learn like where the phrases go, where the groove is, and all that. So I'm going to play the bass part, or like a bass part on the guitar. And then I'm going to play the chords, which is kind of the piano part. The piano part's kind of is playing a bass and a chord at the same time. And so that's where you have these upstrokes. And we'll get to that. And then we're going to talk about the lead. This is a cool song because it just has one guitar solo at the beginning. And you know, if you can really hunt down 3 or 4 T-Bone Walker songs and just like hunt it down and kill it, you know what I mean? Like really learn it inside and out. Like this is a perfectly good example for one to learn inside and out. Then you're kind of good to go because he played a lot of the same things over and over, but he had such an interesting way of phrasing it every time. It always sounded new. Just like John Lee Hooker, same thing. He had the same vocabulary over the decades. But he always managed to make it sound interesting and like he just thought of it for the first time, which is so cool. So I'm going to use my looper and I'm going to play a bass line you can use to put the elements of the song together. And some of you know this scale, right? It's based on that kind of a thing. You start with your second finger on the we're in C, so start with your second finger on the root, 8th fret of the low E string. Then your first finger's in place on the 7th fret of the A string. Notice the second time around, I didn't go all the way up to the high C up here on the D string. I just went to the 7th. That 7th kind of tells you you're going to change pretty soon to the 4. Anyway, now I'm going to play it with my looper. I'm going to engage the looper while I do this bass line. I'm going to do it a little slow so we can put all the pieces together. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like Boogie Rock by BB, huh? So now I got the bass going. Now we're going to talk about this upstroke, which is kind of a approximation of the piano part that's really grooving this song along, and The Hustle Is On. The piano part plays this bass line along with this together, but we have to do it twice. This is a C ninth, F ninth, G ninth, okay, now we got both of them going on, right? So now I'm going to explain what this was. Sometimes I like to just use kind of my fingers, actually the top part of my thumb like this. And I got a click going down. Imagine if you're tapping your foot, my foot's up, my foot's down. My foot's up, my foot's down. Imagine a little string between your hand and your foot. Like that. How about that? That little dry click doesn't sound so great necessarily by yourself, but it sounds really great with a band. It's sort of blending into the whole groove of it. And you can control your volume by what I call squeezing the ball. We've talked about this. I'm just pressing my fingers down on the string and then lifting them up. Pressing my fingers down, lifting them up. And that way you don't have all the work on your right hand to mute it. And it's a relaxed. Like that. And that works really well. You could also use a 6 chord. Maybe not in this song. And then a 4 chord like this. It's an F7th. And haha. That's another way to do it. But this is how it really fits well with so much T-bone stuff. So now let's talk about the lead. Now I'm going to lay out some of the ingredients of this. If some of this stuff seems familiar, it's because this is kind of the template for all lead guitar, practically. He starts like this. If you're in C, you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it on the 10th fret of the G string. And this is like a bend up to the 5th of the chord. There you have that. That's 8 and 8 on the B and E strings. It's kind of an opening shot, you know. And it ends on the 7th, which is the 11th fret of the B string. And then he waits a while, and then he goes. Notice there's a little bend here to sort of make it a little more expressive. Ah, here we go. So, lots of times you'll either have this note or you'll have this note, which is the same note, but it really has a different feel. So the whole thing goes like this. And you can see Lowell Fulson really got that. And then we're going to the 4. Now on the 4 he goes. I'm just going to get just that far. And then he plays straight, which is, lots of times it's notes swing, but sometimes they go against the swing. That's a da 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 da, and it's over this. So here's the whole solo. I'm going to do it real slow. Now we're on the 4. That was it. So there's a lot there. I'm going to do it again really slow. I think the latter one was right. So that's how that solo goes. And he really got out of there with some panache. So your licks basically are, he like opens up with a 7th chord and then he sort of elaborates on it. Notice how that fits right in the 4 chord. So he has this bend like this. See See if you can do that. And then he answered. Then he does this. By the time he gets to the 5, he's doing this all the time. And this sort of resolves back to the 1. Well, times is hot, baby. This is like kind of a high point, you know, and this is like sort of where he gets his dancing thing. He's always like dancing around with the rhythm. And then a lot of loud silences. Well, you know, I forgot to talk about one of the other best parts of this tune, which is this right here. Over the sax solo, right? Then he goes. Pretty great, huh? That's just fun. Here we go. Let's try it. Or you can go all downs, but I'm hearing the up. It actually sounds good if you start in the up. Either way. And he does that pushing the sax solo along, you know, and it's really exciting. It's like he's commenting on him and egging it on at the same time. It's really nice. So, you know, I promised at the beginning of this lesson I'd talk a little bit about flower blues. And I don't know if we're kind of running a little late on time here, but I'm just going to play a little bit of it and do a little bit of some more modern T-Bone Walker with a different groove. He likes to slide those chords. Yeah, so that's a tune called Flower Blues. And I just really enjoy that. I hope that some of you will also check out not just his great stuff on Imperial and the songs that a lot of people do. Like you can see Kim Wilson do Hustles On, Anson Funderburg, so many people. Great artists, great versions. But I like this later period. It's just really funky and so much fun. Great tunes. And so that's just a little extra credit. The rhythm guitar is just great. And you can play against the rhythm and all that. Please, if any of you have memories of T-Bone Walker, definitely leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And do subscribe to my YouTube channel for looks at the blues greats, great blues songs, and the nooks and crannies of electric blues. Thanks a lot.